Well, not too long ago, President Trump had a warning. Listen.
Just stick with us. Don't believe the crap you see from these people, the fake news. And just remember, what you're seeing and what you're reading is not what's happening.
Well, today he's asking us not to care about an insult that he repeatedly hurled at a sitting U.S. senator, and he's asking us not to believe what we saw him say on tape in front of a crowd of thousands of people. Also late today, he tried blaming the target, saying she, not he, owes the country an apology, but we'll have more on that in a moment. Keep it honest, it's textbook gaslighting. We've talked about this before, asking people to not believe what they see and hear, challenging reality. It all centers on Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren releasing results of a DNA test showing she has very distant Native American ancestry. The expert she cited says it was between 6 and 10 generations ago. Warren herself says she was raised believing that ancestor was a member of the Cherokee Nation, though she herself makes no claim of actual tribal citizenship. The Cherokee Nation put out a statement today saying that using a DNA test to make any connection is, and I'm quoting here, inappropriate and wrong. Now, all that said, when told of the test results today, here's what President Trump said.
What is your reaction to Senator Elizabeth Warren releasing the results of her DNA test?
No, I have no. Who cares?
Mr. President, you said you
Who cares?
Who cares? I mean, who on earth would ever make a big deal about Elizabeth Warren's heritage, let alone say it out loud? And even if they did say it out loud, who would ever say it on camera? And if they did say it on camera, I mean, who would ever, say it again and again during the campaign and, actually well into office? Who indeed would say that?
Pocahontas. That's this Elizabeth Warren. Massachusetts is represented by Pocahontas, right?
I call her Pocahontas, and that's an insult to Pocahontas.
I was being hit by Pocahontas. 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 What an insult to Pocahontas. I've got more Indian blood in me than Pocahontas, and I have none.
Well, to answer President Trump's question, he cares. Clearly, he made this an issue, even if you can call hurling racially loaded insults making something an issue. And now he kind of wants to ignore all the evidence of it, including presumably what he said in front of some of the most courageous people who've ever lived, Navajo code talkers from the Second World War.
We have a representative in Congress who they say was here a long time ago. They call her Pocahontas.
So today, Senator Warren called his bluff, and the president first said, who cares, asking us to ignore all the times that he himself cared, asking us to ignore that he's the one who called her names over and over. He also turned the gaslight up to about 11 with his answer to this.
Mr. President, you said you paid $1 million to charity.
I didn't say that. You better read it again.
So he said he didn't say it. Now, keeping him honest, that must mean that on July 5th of this year, he never said this.
I'm going to get one of those little kids. And in the middle of the debate, when she proclaims that she's of Indian heritage, we will say, I will give you $1 million to your favorite charity, paid for by Trump, if you take the test and it shows you're an Indian.
So he says he didn't say it. He did. Then later today, inspecting hurricane damage in Georgia, he was no longer denying that he'd said what the video clearly shows him saying. Instead, he kind of wiggled out of it on a technicality, or tried to, saying his $1 million promise only counted if Senator Warren actually wins the nomination. He also added this, make of it what you will, about DNA testing and apologies.
I'll only do it if I can test her personally. Okay, that will not be something I enjoy doing either.
Do you owe her an apology?
No, I don't.
What about the money that
I owe her. She owes the country an apology.
So what you're seeing and what you're hearing is not what's happening, except in this case, it is. Joining us now is USA Today columnist and CNN political analyst Kirsten Powers, also former Trump campaign aide, Michael Caputo. Great to have you both on. Michael, is it fair for the president to say who cares when he was the one who has brought this into the forefront?
Well, I think he was just dismissing it out of hand. Clearly, this is something that he's used as a punchline for 2 years now, ever since she first attacked him when he was running for president and she was acting as an anti-Trump surrogate. He also, mentioned that if in a debate, he would offer her $1 million to prove that she was of Native American descent. And, she, in this test today that she revealed, looks like she's got less Indian or Native American blood than probably even the president does, which is pretty hilarious, actually.
Kirsten, is this much ado about nothing? Is the president, or I mean, how do you see what the president is saying about
well,
this?
I think this is one of those things that's actually a more difficult situation than it appears on the surface. Donald Trump was, making fun of her using this racial slur, talking about actually Pocahontas was a teenage girl who was kidnapped and held hostage by white settlers. So it's not actually a really funny story, and so that's obviously really bad. But the way this originally came up is it came up during her Senate campaign, and it was actually unearthed by reporters, and she did mishandle it, and she's really gotten a lot of criticism since then, and including today, from Native American leaders and from indigenous people who are saying that she's misappropriating their heritage, and that this DNA test actually doesn't prove that she's part Cherokee, because that's actually a tribe. It's not something that a DNA test is going to prove. So I think it would have been better if she would have just originally said, you know what, family lore, this is what I thought, I made a mistake. As Michael said, actually, I don't think she probably has much more of this in her DNA than most Americans. So just, we all hear stories in our families, and you say, I heard it wrong. Instead, she said something about her great-grandfather having high cheekbones, which is a racist stereotype. And so I think she actually has legitimately handled this badly. Donald Trump, that's not his motivation. It's not about he cares about her misappropriating a culture. He's just acting badly and making racist attacks.
Michael, does it make sense to you that Elizabeth Warren would go back to this now and sort of make this, produced video and have this reveal so close to the midterms? I mean, just from a political standpoint, does it make sense?
Well, I think I would look at two people that made statements today. Ian Bremmer, the political scientist, said clearly she's running for president, and also, boy, did she make a mistake doing this, because it's just going to get worse for her from here. And also, Jim Messina, the Obama campaign manager, said, oh my gosh, why are you bringing this up 22 days away from the midterm elections? This is completely off message, and now we're going to be talking about this for days. So I do hope she continues to talk about it as a Republican, so it can continue to keep the Democratic Party off message as the Republicans try to keep the House of Representatives.
Kirsten, do you agree with those assessments that it's sort of an odd time to bring it up? Obviously, she feels for a political future that she needs to address it. Is this the right time, the right way?
It's a very strange time to bring it up, and I'm actually not sure that she did need to address it. I don't know that many Democratic voters or independent voters who weren't going to vote for her over this. And like I said, if you're going to address it, there's another way to address it. Just say you made a mistake. Don't do a DNA test and tell everybody that you have this heritage that you don't have. So I mean, it's just kind of bizarre to me. It's like the DNA test actually didn't prove the point that she says that it's proving. So, and again, it can't prove it, because the DNA test can't make you a member of the Cherokee tribe. It's actually not possible. So I think that, if I were her, I would have just admitted I made a mistake in the first place, but that's not something that politicians typically do. And so she's gotten herself kind of backed into this corner, and I think a lot of people are saying, oh, this was so smart of her to do. I just think she's just drawn attention to something that, has been, a Donald Trump attack line, and I don't think you have to walk into that trap.
Kirsten Powers, Michael Caputo, good to have you on. Thanks so much, appreciate it.